Hi, fifth graders. Today we are going to continue on with Where the Red Fern Grows packet. We had read chapter 14, and in chapter 14, we find out about this big championship hunt. Grandpa signs Billy up for this championship hunt, and Billy's kind of like, are you sure I can do this? Do they let anyone do it? Because he doesn't really think of himself as being the person to do a championship hunt. He knows that he has two wonderful hounds, but he's probably about 14. I don't know if he would necessarily think of himself as being good enough to compete against adults who have been hunting their entire lives. So Billy is kind of like, why are you talking about this? And Grandpa actually went about and got the dogs registered. He got them in, he paid the fee to get them into this championship hunt. And he set it all up. And he said, Billy, if you're okay with it, I would like to come with you. And Billy's like, of course you can come. And then Grandpa also says, we should invite your dad. So they invite the dad, and he's at first kind of like, I don't know if I should come, but his whole family convinces him to come. Now, they mention if you win, you get a gold cup. And we already know the answer to this. We already know if he wins or not. One second, my cat's trying to eat something. Okay, sorry. My cat was trying to eat something, and I was about to knock it over, and I really don't want to pick up that mess. And now he's staring at me like he's going to do it again. So if I have to leave, it's because my cat is terrorizing me, which you've seen in Google Hangouts and in my videos. Okay, back to this. So we have already been told, chapter 1, I had told you, included foreshadowing that lets us know how the coon hunt turns out. So we already know the answer to this. And if I flip back to this, chapter 1 was where Billy was an old man. Not an old man, but he was an adult. And he saw this dog and he kind of reminisced about a time when he had these two pups. So we know that he gets them. And I'm going to read you the paragraph to kind of help you understand this foreshadowing that we had. So he goes, I struck a match to light my pipe. As I did, two beautiful cups gleamed on the mantel. I held the match up so I could get a better look. There they were, sitting side by side, one with a large, long, upright handles that stood out like wings of a mourning dove. The highly polished surface gleamed and glistened with a golden sheen. The other was smaller and made of silver. It was neat and trim and sparkling with a white star in the heavens. So, Wilson Rawls, the author of the book, Wilson Rawls, does a fantastic job of foreshadowing throughout this entire book. This entire time, he's giving us hints where we, if you know what to look for, know the answers to what's going to happen in the end. But he hides them puts them in there so well that you don't realize. And maybe some of you had remembered, oh my gosh, Miss Price had read this chapter and it had given us those answers already. I know he's going to win. But now I just reread it for you. So you might have already made that connection, which is fantastic, and I'm super impressed with that. And you might not have, which is okay, because we read that chapter way before spring break. Now, so we know kind of the outcome, but we also don't know how it's going to come about, because there is some intense moments that happen. So we're going to go through the question sheets, and I know with chapter 13 that I completely missed a page of that one, so you got off lucky with the chapter 13 questions. I failed and did not realize it was a two-pager. It was a two-pager. So you got lucky. Don't worry about those extra chapter 13 questions that we missed. You can just cross them off. So chapter 14, let's get going on this one. Question 1. Why does Grandpa blame himself for Reuben's death? So we had talked about this when I read the chapter. Grandpa partially blames himself for Reuben's death. Why is that? How did he play a hand in that situation? A, Grandpa had hoped something bad would happen to the Pritchards. Is that why he feels guilty? B, Grandpa was the person who had given Billy the axe. Is that why he felt guilty? Or C, Grandpa thought the incident would not have happened if he hadn't called Reuben's bet. So did he think, if I hadn't said we need to take this bet, none of this would have happened if he didn't say that. So is that why he feels guilty? We had talked about that when I read, so I hope you know. Okay, Number 2, what surprising news did Grandpa have for Billy? So what was his big surprise? A, Grandpa had entered Old Dan and Little Ann in a championship coon hunt. B, Grandpa sold his store and was moving to town. C, Grandpa was getting married. D, Grandpa wanted Billy to go with him on vacation to Tennessee. You better get this one right because I just reviewed it before we started this worksheet. And it was what the whole chapter was about. 3, oh, I'd given you a hint on this one earlier. I hope you're paying attention. What foreshadowing did Rawls, the author, do in chapter 1 that lets the reader know how the coon hunt will turn out? I just reread this paragraph to you, so you should know it. A, the old man had a photograph of the championship coon hunt hanging in his home. B, the old man told the hurt dog he once had championship hounds. C, the old man had 2 cups on his mantle. D, the old man had a trophy in his home. You better have this right, because I just read it to you. Okay? I'm giving you some of these away by reviewing it like I am. I'm being nice. 4, Grandpa gave Little Ann and Old Dan blank as a treat. So he had cut something up for them. What did he give them? A, dog biscuits. B, cheese. C, bacon. Or D, rubber toys. If you listen to the chapter, you should be able to pick this one up. So I'll know if you listen to the chapter based on how you answer that. Okay. Question 5. Grandpa, Papa, and Billy would get to the coon hunt by, so how are they getting there? Are they A, on foot, so walking, B, taking a train, C, in a buggy, or D, taking a car? 6, Billy had been so busy he hadn't noticed what? So he says, oh my gosh, I've been so busy with my coon dogs, I hadn't noticed something. A, his papa had grown a beard. B, his mama was going to have a baby. C, his sister was going to have a birthday celebration. Or D, his shoe had gotten a hole in it. So it's kind of a big thing, like a really big thing, and he didn't notice, and he felt bad about it. 7, Billy's youngest sister asked him blank. A, if she could have the gold cup. B, if she could go to the coon hunt. C, if Billy could win at the coon hunt. D, if they could have a party when he came home. So what did his sister ask him? In a very bashful, like shy way. She's like, hey, Billy, can I? And he says, yes, of course. 8, what was the one thing Billy said was wrong with Little Ann? So he says, of all things, this is the one thing that's wrong with her. A, Little Ann was playing all the time. B, Little Ann acted like a pup. C, Little Ann was gun shy, which means she's scared of like a gun going off. D, Little Ann never stayed with Old Dan. Do we know that's true or not? So the book talked about this, and it's a pretty clear part in the story, so I hope you're able to pick that one up. It wasn't one of those secret, like, hidden answers. Oop, oop, oop. Okay, number 11. I'm trying to make this so it's not crooked, but I'm failing miserably at it. Hopefully that's not crooked for you. Okay, 11. Based on the story, one could conclude all of the following except, so which one can we not know? A, Little Ann and Old Dan will win the gold cup at the coon hunt. B, Grandpa would be excited about the coon hunt. C, Grandma would stay by herself while Grandpa went to the coon hunt. D, the Pritchards would be at the coon hunt. So which one of those can we not answer? Which one do we go, we have no clue if this is going to happen? There's 3 that we already know the answer to. And there's one that we're like, well, I don't know. It's the one where you go, we don't know if this is going to happen. So which one do we not know? And our last question for today, which statement from chapter 14 contains a cause and effect relationship? So cause and effect, I'm going to remind you there, that is where one thing happens which leads to another thing. So because of this, that happened. Okay? So which one shows cause and effect? A, Grandma handed Grandpa a pair of long handle underwear and a scarf, saying, I knew you'd forget something. B, Little Ann sensed my happiness. Does that have cause and effect? C, I was so choked up, I couldn't say anything. Because of this, I couldn't do that? D, my sisters started clapping their hands and squealing with delight. So did that show a cause and effect? Whew, I can't speak today. I'm having a rough day. Okay, so answer those 12 questions. I double checked. There's only one page for chapter 14 for questions. And you're lucky, chapter 15 won't have any questions. So you'll actually listen to the 2 chapters in a row next, and we won't have questions until chapter 16. And then we're getting close to the end with only 20 chapters in this book. So we're getting close to the end. I'm really impressed with how hard you've all been working on getting your stuff done and checking with me. Now, for this one, you do need to send me your work or call into Google Hangouts and tell me your answers. I've only had a couple of you doing that, and I want to just make sure that you are understanding the book and that you are actually doing the work. So this is my way of checking and going, okay, those 3 did the work, this one did not, so I need to make sure he's getting his work done. Okay? So I need you to call in or send me a picture of your work through email. That way I know that you are getting your work done. If you have any questions or confused on some of the book, let me know and I can help you out with it. I've read this multiple times and are pretty good at understanding this story. I hope you're enjoying it and have a great rest of your day. Bye.